Okay, so it says recording started. So welcome to the Lockdown Podcast. We are just a couple of average Joes who watch a lot of WWE, some AEW, some of the other stuff, but for the most part, we're going to be covering WWE because that's what at least I watch. I know, Tim, you watch
It's
some.
I watch a little bit here in AEW here and there, but it's mostly just been lately just WWE.
Yeah, I mean, WWE is always going to be the A brand. And AEW is even starting to not even sell out crowds.
No,
And I think finally, AEW is like fans are like, I'm good. They're not impressed. Like the amount of language they use doesn't exactly enable a child-safe family wrestling.
no,
And so I don't think AEW. I mean, they're going to be around. They're going to be around just like a TNA, like an Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, they're going to be around, but they're not going to stand out.
nope.
Um, and so, kind of what I want to start this year off with the Lockdown podcast. We've kind of recorded some stuff in the past, but this is just kind of the new revamped video version of it. So it's easier to kind of see who we are. And we're not, he's a Viking, I'm a dude, an average guy. But I wanted to really just kind of kick off like so 2024, what we've had coming out of 23 into 24, you had the CM Punk return, you had the Randy Orton return, and I think when The Rock came back recently, I feel like that overshadowed both of those guys' returns.
It definitely did.
Because you now like Cody Rhodes came to WWE, came back to WWE, and it was this strong finish the story, and now he has been pushed to a glorified popular jobber because he's now you have all of these people returning, and you have him basically just doing chapters of a book basically because he's not. I don't think the story is anything right now. I don't think that final WWE Championship is a thing that's going to happen. And so I kind of feel bad. And honestly, I mean, I've heard chatter, and again, chatter. It's just hypothetical rumors on people from YouTube and stuff that basically kind of Cody Rhodes is pissed. He doesn't like where he's at in the company at this current juncture because the story is not going to happen. Now you have been overpowered by 3 trifecta returns, 1, CM Punk, which he's been back for what, since what,
November,
November,
November 25th.
and he's had like 1 or 2 dark matches. Not even like, so what is he even doing back if there's no, it doesn't look like there's a creative storyline for CM Punk at this current juncture other than, hey, I'm going to be in the Royal Rumble, you know, and so okay, Cody, Royal Rumble. Okay, we're gonna have these slew. Who's gonna be the big return at Royal Rumble? We don't have anything because they're already back.
But the one thing everybody who is kind of hoping for that have watched AEW, you got an MJF that's no longer on their website roster,
I
and
think that might
he's
be a ply, but I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe MJF. If MJF returned, it would just push Cody Rhodes so far back, so far
if
back.
MJF shows up to WWE at the Royal Rumble, that would Cody Rhodes would be happy because Cody Rhodes does want him in WWE, but yeah, he knows
But
that's
but
gonna
it's
push him
it's killing Cody's story though.
pretty much.
So Cody's back, and he's really the only thing he has now that he didn't have before was a neck tattoo and a badass attitude. That's all he's got. Because if you really think about it, like Cody, he came back with so much bravado, so much like, oh my gosh, Cody's back, right? We were at that WrestleMania when we heard the and he's back, right? And then
Yep.
you know, I mean, they sadly, with the whole 2 belt thing on Roman, was literally a killer of WWE, and the fact that he wrestles maybe 4-ish events a year is freaking pathetic. You're not a valid champion. I think we're all
No,
sick of the bloodline. We're all sick of it. I mean, even if the Rock, when him and Rock, let's just say him and Rock, probably are going to be facing off at
elimination.
WrestleMania.
I think they're gonna have The Rock versus Roman at Elimination Chamber.
But like, this is my thing though, is that would it be far fetched because now he's going into, as of recently on SmackDown Friday, Nick Aldis announced that it's going to be a fatal 4-way. Now, would it be far fetched for one of those guys to win and beat Roman, and then the title, and then a match at WrestleMania, The Rock versus Roman? It wouldn't be a title thing, because if The Rock beat Roman, then it would just be The Rock beat Roman and not for a title, because The Rock's not going to stay around.
No,
The
I
Rock,
think
the Rock.
The Rock is only here in WWE's because he's been let go from Warner Brothers because of all the BS that he did with the whole Hawaii funds bullcrap
Mhm.
shit, and not a lot of people want to work with him anymore. And he is desperate for money, and WWE's like, okay, we'll bring you in, and
I
you
mean,
you put people in the seats.
I don't think money's the factor, because I feel like The Rock's loaded.
Oh,
But
he
I
is
think I think he's just bored, and
probably.
he knows he can pull the star power with WWE. Hand over fist. I love The Rock, dude. Never gonna knock down The Rock. The Rock is literally Mount Rushmore. And honestly, the Mount Rushmore really doesn't even have to have the people that have won the titles the most. Because honestly, I think John Cena's like, I'd say he's like on the outside looking in of Mount Rushmore, because I mean, he came and he's like a big kid wrestling, fan guy. Like, those people in the 90s and 80s and 90s, that were like larger than life, right? Like your
Pretty
Hulk
much.
Hogan, your Andre, The Rock, Stone Cold. Those guys set the page, or set the stage, sorry, for the rest of it to come. And so, like, I feel like the Mount Rushmore is the ones that set the footing to make WWE what it was, because the Attitude Era literally pushed the boundaries, and so you have the guys that laid the foundation for what it is now. And honestly, Vince is on that Mount Rushmore, I would say, because honestly, like, if you had like
He
if
should
you had
be.
like if you had a five person Mount Rushmore, you have to give Vince on that, because the dude has a mind that's literally like no other. There's no chance in hell that he's not on there, pun intended. So yeah, you know, and so we'll kind of shift around a little bit, but like, so yeah, CM Punk doesn't seem like it's a probable return that's going to do anything other than bring some star power. The Rock's return, he's bored. He's bored. Let's be real, he's bored. And so now I'm going to shift kind of down to like Randy Orton's return. And Randy
Back and
Orton,
really jacked.
oh yeah, dude, his freaking neck, dude, like looked like, ooh, And so Randy Orton returning, I mean, I feel like if anybody's going to dethrone Roman, I feel like it needs to be Randy, because that would end the chapter of that for Randy. And then if Randy's chapter is done, then Cody can go to his story. Because
Pretty much.
as soon as Roman loses those titles, he's gone. He's gone. He has nothing left. Because if he doesn't have titles, there's no relevancy to him. Those titles the only thing keeping him relevant. The bloodline isn't keeping him relevant. It is just the title and the whole 1300 whatever X amount of days, and I mean, come on now, dude. Seth Rollins has fought more title matches in 2023 than Roman has in his whole reign, which is really messed up, because like that's what downgrades title belts, is when you
Yeah,
don't defend them.
it makes me feel like Roman's the way he's going is just like he's just a newer, younger version of Brock Lesnar with
Right.
not making here appearance here and there.
Yeah, the part-time stuff is it's just obnoxious
I can't
because
st-
like
I can't stand it.
no, because you don't when you don't have titles that get defended, because like with Logan Paul being the United States champion, like the guy's not going to be around. I mean, we don't need another Roman Reigns. We don't
No.
need another Brock Lesnar. You know, the product needs champions to fight. Seth Rollins, Gunther, not even the tag team titles really are even really anything right now. So you literally have the working man titles, which is the US and Intercontinental, but it's really the only Intercontinental that's being dealt with. Like, I mean, I don't understand how you have Roman never defending it. Seth, it's literally Seth and Gunther that basically are the
It's,
only ones doing anything.
they're the only ones that's actually defending their titles each and every freaking week and each every single damn month.
Like Gunther's title reign means a hell of a lot more than Roman's. Because now Gunther's he's on the top and
Hmm.
he's going to keep on going.
Yep.
Roman's just on the list, but Roman's not defending it. So like, and you got 90% of his matches have outside interference. Yeah, you're so tough. You're so dominant with the bloodline.
I think
Gunther,
I think they're gonna keep the title. I think most likely they want to keep the title on him for he could pass Hogan. That's pretty much it.
but the thing is, but like if you look at that wrestling of in back in the day, they were defending all the freaking time. Like, I don't know the exact stat sheet, but like I guarantee you Hogan defended his stuff way more than Roman ever did. So go ahead and pass him by the numbers, right? It's kind of like when Gunther said to Miz that, yeah, cool, you've won won it 11 times, but you never kept it that long, right? And
Nope.
so and the thing is, dude, I honestly when we were at Raw in at Van Andel when the Miz and Gunther were talking, dude, honestly, I kind of got a rejuvenation of respect for the Miz because he kind of just said it how he literally said it how it was,
Hmm.
you know, and he was just like, okay, yeah, like but you're making it relevant and that's cool, but he's like, hey, I'm still gonna come after it, because yes, numbers are cool for how long you've had it, but you know, circa 2000, let's say 2015, back when title belts moved around, that's when it was entertaining because everybody got a shot to hold it. I mean, Ricochet got to hold the title, The Miz got to hold the title, R-Truth had held titles,
Kofi.
like, Kofi, you had Big E, you got all these guys that were holding titles, even if it was for a little bit of time, at least they got a little bit of star power for it
Yep.
because you don't have that now. Now you have these title reigns and not defending, and they're just kind of there. And then it's like you have all these great like these tag team, stuff. They're like, oh my gosh, this tag team is yada yada yada, and they're and then but like it doesn't mean anything unless you're going after a championship. Like titles don't do any good for the company on someone's shoulder not defending it. And so please defend your freaking titles more. Like it's stupid. Like you,
That's why I kind of miss the fucking Attitude Era because Attitude Era they had titles defending every Monday, every um
well, that's the thing. And then
SmackDown
yeah,
and
and
Sunday Night Heat.
yeah, because like that was the whole draw. It was like, man, they could. Oh my gosh, he lost his title.
Yeah.
Like there was that allure of like battles and like championships bouncing around because that like there's a reason why as much as everyone hates is that the Miz is a two-time Grand Slam, two-time, and he
He
was honestly
deserves
by
it.
him, and the thing is that the Miz, some reality TV dude came on like it was a goof thing for a while with him and Morrison, and then as soon as he got by himself, the dude lit a fire.
Yep.
And so you got to give respect where respect is due because guess what? The Miz shows up.
He's there
Like,
every single week.
The Miz shows up. Natalia shows up. Like, most of the roster shows up. Dude, Baron Corbin's on an NXT just kind of doing what Baron Corbin does. reinventing himself. That's what NXT is for. When anybody goes down and comes back, goes to NXT, and then comes back up to the main roster, they have reinvented themselves. And
Besides Apollo Cruz, he
I
came back to
mean,
the main
yeah,
roster. He's
and like the thing is but like that's what happens in WWE when you have a saturated roster of talent that you can't use constantly. That's why you get like you have Superstar, you have all these other shows where it's like you're cool, you get to wrestle, but it doesn't mean anything because it's not even on live TV, you know. And so like it sucks, but I'm like, well, you know what? If I could do what I love and still get paid, I'd do it, you know. And I just it's tough when they get lost in the shuffle.
it
Now,
is. It is.
did you see the end of did you see SmackDown when AOP came back to
Oh yeah.
basically, dude, to be flanked by Karrion Kross, dude, that's a boss move. That's a Triple H move.
That
100%.
that that that's gonna be a really good team on SmackDown to watch out for.
Well, that's the thing too is that like you have so many factions, right? You got Bloodline, Judgment Day, Alpha Academy. Now you have AOP with Karrion Kross. You got Street Profits with Bobby Lashley. There's so many factions, but there's no factions doing anything.
There's
Like,
only there is one faction that I am waiting to see if WWE is. I don't know if they're actually doing these promos with Bo Dallas with the Wyatt Six. I don't know if you've seen
yeah,
those videos.
I mean, I haven't really seen too much as far as Wyatt, other than just a lot of commemorative videos in respect to the man that was Bray Wyatt.
Yeah,
So,
but Bo Dallas has been coming out with a lot of. He's been doing a lot of promos with talking about him playing as Uncle Howie
mhm,
and saying that was just a person in his mind, and he says Bray Wyatt still talks to him, and
mhm,
showing that he has a new character coming out with it kind of looks like almost like a scarecrow, kind of like, but it
mhm.
looks really cool. And a lot of these promos he's doing are freaking awesome. It's kind of like he's learned a lot from his brother. And
Oh yeah, dude. I mean,
if he does bring in the Wyatt Six, I know a couple of the people that they're saying is supposed to be in it. Braun Strowman is supposed to be in it. Lexa Bliss is supposed to come back to be part of it, and then
mhm,
Redbeard, he's supposed to come back.
mhm.
And it's I can't wait if it's true,
I mean,
if he's actually going to bring it and WWE's going to do something with it. I'm excited for it.
oh yeah, and I think it giving kind of an homage to Bray Wyatt and kind of continuing his story is it's awesome, honestly, because the tail end of Bray Wyatt's career was him more or less just crying out and showing how real of a person he was. Not kayfabe, just literally just Wyndham Rotunda, like. And it sucks that he's gone, but to someone to keep his legacy going, I feel like that's cool. That's just like cool as a fan. Like not even like outside of even like just like the mentality of like wrestling groups, like just the fact that someone's continuing, the legacy of Bray Wyatt is it's just cool. And it gives me like hope that hey, this Bray Wyatt, he's gone, but his story's not.
Yep. And I like some of the new merch they have for him up on their website. I
Yeah.
might have to get some.
Yeah. So we're gonna I'm gonna kind of trail back, because
Oh, that's fine.
rabbit, rabbit trails are what we do. But
That's what we're known
so
for.
like if we talk about the validity of some of the factions, like we'll start like Bloodline, right? Bloodline without Jay just it doesn't mean anything. Like there's nothing to it. If there's no Usos in Solo, the Bloodline is just it's just dumb,
It's just dull and boring. It's not the
and that
same.
and then you have Judgment Day, right? And you have, JD joined a while back, although he should be kicked out, via the rules that he agreed to.
Pretty much.
I loved that R-Truth bit when he didn't know what side he was on.
That was hilarious.
But
I like how R-Truth gets them all to break their characters and
dude, and they were laughing, dude. They were laughing, and it was hard to not see, because R-Truth is he's just that guy.
Damon Priest is like,
dude, it's like he just laughed. He had like turn away from the camera and like, I just, the greatness of the guy R-Truth.
same thing with what's Dominic Mysterio? He did the same
Yeah.
thing. He laughed too.
Oh yeah, dude. It's hard not to like acknowledge the humor of R-Truth. And yeah, and so I mean the Judgment Day, I feel like they need to split the titles. The titles need to switch because it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if they're gonna have dominant factions on other shows, they need to have 2 titles again. Tag title need to be switched. They need to go back to one of each show because Survivor Series doesn't mean anything anymore. It's just basically becoming war games, and that's all it really is. And there's no brand dominance. There's no like my champion versus your champion. There's none of that anymore. And I don't mind the Survivor Series War Games like match, but I feel like that should be like a Raw versus SmackDown situation, not just hey this faction versus this faction plus a couple mystery guests. And I want it to be what it used to be. Now, Senor Money in the Bank, I feel like this is just dragged on too long. Like, it's like, where's he gonna go with it? Honestly, like,
Yeah, nobody knows when he's gonna cash it in. He keeps
what's
trying.
what's he gonna do? Cash it against Gunther for an IC title match? Because that's about the only. Because there's you you take the title
I
off
hope
Seth.
not.
Because the only and that's the thing is they made the secondary title. And that's the only one everybody's even going after. So, like, any Money in the Bank cash in is going to be off of basically Raw. Because SmackDown is basically solidified as big ticket TV and no real title defenses. Because Roman don't do nothing. Logan don't do nothing. Or actually, is Logan on...
Let's
Oh,
say
he's on
Logan.
SmackDown. He's on
Yeah,
SmackDown.
he's on SmackDown.
Yeah,
They got a title match at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. And so I just don't buy it. I'm not entertained. I mean, to quote Sheamus, we're not entertained. We're all literally just kind of sitting here coasting through WWE as it stands without any like ooh ah moments, like it's getting complacent and I don't like it. I'm still gonna watch it. It's not like I'm not a fan, it's just like any other TV show you watch.
Pretty much.
There's gonna be the bumps and the bruises and there's gonna be kind of the stagnant moments, and that's fine. But like if WWE listened to half the fans, even just let's say a tenth of the fans even, and the people that do the extreme YouTube videos and stuff, like, there's gotta be a change. There's gotta be more titles and essentially splitting up like this, like with the tag titles, like it was so much fun because you'd have tag titles bounce around all the time. Now you have, the Judgment Day, who we run Judgment Day, we run Monday Night Raw, you guys don't run anything.
We run the whole WWE.
You run your mouths and don't accomplish anything. You've done nothing with the title belts. Dominic ain't got no title no more. Rhea literally holds on to her title for I don't even know what. Like, she's not the most dominant women's champion.
Yeah,
Sorry.
she's had that title since like WrestleMania last year.
Yeah, I mean, hate to break your Jello booty, honey, but like, I'm not buying your title reign. You've had mostly matches that, and I feel like if you put your hand on a man, even in WWE, man, I need an RKO out of nowhere. Nia got one. Why can't Rhea? Because I don't. I think it was maybe. I know there was one other person besides her that got one. I'm pretty sure Stephanie probably got one at some point, or at least a stunner. But
Stephanie did get a RKO, and you had a couple of the old women legends got it.
oh yeah, was it Mae Young?
Yeah, It was Mae Young and Mae Young's best friend, whatever heck her name was.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I just, there needs to be a change for all of our sakes. Split the titles up, move on, go back to having constant battling for titles, because if you have all of these people on one show, and yet Judgment Day goes back and forth between the shows, but they're not like full time on any of those shows. They're part timers on both ones. They might come out and they blah blah blah, then this sets up a battle versus JD and Dominic, who don't hold the titles essentially. So like, big whoop. Big Whoopi came out and did the same thing you've been always doing for the last like 6 months. Now, so we'll kind of shift gears now. Again, Cody's story is just kind of a wash at this point. Now, I know people think, and the people have on YouTube said, "Oh yeah, how good the Shinsuke Nakamura bits are." They're so played out, dude.
They're
You know
kind
who?
of getting boring.
Dude. You know who else did those things? Let's see. Ciampa did those. Karrion Kross did those.
Yep.
There's people that have done those bits, and they're just so dry. Cool, you're talking in Chinese, Japanese, whatever you are, dude, and like talking, the nightmare, American Nightmare Before Christmas, like, dude, like, even you can even sense a little bit of disingenuousness from Cody Rhodes, just basically saying, "I want to end this chapter."
He
Like,
pretty much does. I think he's getting sick of it.
no one, like, okay, Shinsuke, yeah, you keep on doing these little bits, but you've amounted to nothing for doing them. You did those with Seth. See what happened to you. How many times did he beat you? Oh, probably like 3 times. You lost. And then you go to the next thing that doesn't have any validity. And then the next one. The next one. Your bits suck. Like, ugh. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. He would be a pretty awesome world champion.
I mean, but like
He
they're
does deserve it. He's bust his ass a lot, but WWE keeps fucking him over.
it's because it's oversaturated with the same talent trying to go after the belt. You know, when Bobby had the belt, man, the almighty,
Almighty
almighty
Bobby Lashley.
champion, the almighty United States champion, and the almighty, like, that faction needs some gold. I think, like I said, the belts need to get split up so then we can have dominance on one brand, dominance on another brand, and life goes on. But if they don't do it, it doesn't matter how many good tag teams you got. Doesn't matter if AOP and Karrion Kross come out shooting. Doesn't matter if Alpha Academy continues to do what they do. It doesn't matter if Imperium has good tag teams, and now you have Angel Garza and Alberto Carril, lined up with what's his nut?
I know what you're
Anyway,
talking about. I can't think
yeah,
of him.
I can't think of his name because that's how much you care. But and but it's like you have this, and then it's like, okay, here's another side faction. And, there's just so many factions, the fact that you just get lost in it. And you can't talk about how dominant you are if there's so many and no one's doing anything. The titles are literally collecting dust on Damien's ass and Finn's ass, doing nothing, not defending them, not at least not clean anyways. I'm sick. I wish there's clean matches more. More clean matches would make people seem larger than life to win victories. When you have outside help, you look like a pussy. Let's be real. You're
Yep.
not dominant. You're not, oh my gosh, you're so talented. No, you're not. You're not, because you clearly need outside interference. I mean, how many times did the Usos and Solo help out Roman? I don't know. Every match? Like, it's to the
Pretty
point where
much.
it's a point where you're just like, you're looking at your watch like, oh, well, it's about time to have that interference. It was like when Roman came out at the end of SmackDown to interrupt the whole,
Triple threat.
yeah,
The three, yeah.
it was a
No,
triple threat. It was, yeah, because it was Randy and
it was Randy, LA Knight, and AJ Styles.
yeah, and again, AJ Styles comes back. What are they gonna do with him?
Oh, he came back fucking jack. Everybody thinks he's on steroids.
I mean, and even like the thing is, but like, I mean, they say they have wellness policies, but half of it is just kayfabe BS. We all know they are. Come on now, dude. Like, gender Like when you have like the pimples all over your body, it means you're doing juice. That's what happened to Jinder. Then Jinder got his shit together, and now Jinder's jacked, but Jinder don't got no body pimples, so you know it's natural. You know, it's I don't even care about the juicing policy of wrestling. I'm watching your brand not to ooh ah at your muscles and your physique. I want entertainment. If you're not going to bring me entertainment, you're going to have a dry product. You know, and I would honestly, as of late, with the exception of big returns like CM Punk, Rock, and Randy Orton, I'd give the product a freaking B minus. Like I mean, in hell, C plus, because I'm not entertained.
But I am
I'm
happy. I'm happy to see a CM Punk back. I am a CM Punk fan. Always have been.
Oh yeah, 100%. But that's what I'm saying is that like outside of the big returns and the ooh ah moments, you know, it was like when NXT was competing with AEW on that one show or whatever when they brought back like the Undertaker and they like oversaturated the Hall of Famers on the show.
Oh, they. That's the day when the Undertaker was on there. Is when Edge made his debut as his first match
Yeah,
on
and so they
AEW.
basically stuck it to him and give the OG badass, and that bit was amazing.
Oh yeah, it was.
Like that's the thing, though. But the fact that you can get that rub, Braun Breaker should be on main roster. You know, like I
He
don't
should.
think, you know, these other small guys on NXT, they only work in NXT. They don't work on the main roster. You're not if you're not if you're not like at least like 6 foot as a guy, you don't belong on the main roster. We don't want cruiserweights, okay? Even like Finn is really he's basically a glorified cruiserweight. He doesn't have the good a skill set. He has acrobatics, and that's about it. But he doesn't have strength. He
No.
just has like just the high flying and the you know
Same.
the
Same thing with
million.
Ricochet.
Oh yeah, at least Ricochet is freaking cool though, and he's married to a bombshell. So
Yeah,
you
the ring
know,
announcer.
dude.
Ring
Well, and
announcer for Raw.
did you see that the when some the actual real reaction they didn't tell Samantha Irvin The Rock was coming back,
Yeah, I saw that.
and
She just like,
so like her reaction was genuine. Her
yep.
reaction was exactly what the fans' face was, dude. Like that's actually kind of mind blowing that you're not gonna tell the ring announcer that.
I like when they announced that a former champion, whatever's coming out, and then Ginger's music played, and you see the fans' faces. They're like, eh. They had their phones up, like,
And then they're like
no.
back to TikTok.
Yep.
Um but like but the thing is like you knew someone was bigger was coming out. Come on, dude. Like again, entertainment. We all knew something big was happening and we all know, and the bit between Jinder and The Rock went way too long. He should have just rock bottomed him, and then did the whole dinner bit, of being in a booth, being at the bar, or at the head of the table. Like we all knew that shit was coming. It's not even
What?
a surprise.
When they were doing that, my girl, she even said, at the head of the table, and she got that right.
Well, I mean, we knew that was coming.
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
as soon as
everybody knew it.
and so like, there's no like, I want to be surprised, flat out. I want to be surprised by something WWE does because now the Royal Rumble, I feel like CM Punk should have come back at the Royal Rumble. I feel like you should have waited for that nugget to drop, and now we really have nothing to be ooh-ahd at Royal Rumble.
Besides, I could see his wife returning in the women's Royal Rumble. She's been posting on
Oh yeah.
Instagram and other shit that
Well, and
showing her and CM
well,
Punk wrestling.
yeah, and she's clickbaiting just like CM Punk did, and see what happened there. So
True.
she clickbaited. She's clickbait as much as CM Punk did, and talking about, oh, I'm not coming back, and then he comes back. And the thing is like I loved who like live events when there's no filter when you're recording it off your phone. Dude, I loved Seth's reaction. I
Oh,
absolute
he flipped.
dude,
That was real.
that was legitimately amazing. Just the
You
exactly, dude. The like man, that reaction. And the thing is, and like
You see
And
Corey Graves' face?
oh,
He's
dude,
trying to hold him back. Same thing with Michael Cole.
dude. I mean, I mean, and that's the thing too is like I want to see those moments live. Don't turn
Oh,
off the
me too.
camera. Give me 11:15 on a
Did you
live event.
did you see the way he acted when his music hit when he was in the ring? He was holding the world title. He fucking threw that at the cage, and Orton's like,
Oh yeah, yeah, no, dude. Like I love that reaction. I like, and it was honestly pretty clutch. And I think that they need to run those, especially if it's a PLE, right? Like I feel like you need to go into the 11:20, 11:30 range to
they used to.
get that like kind of after effect of like something big that happens like that. You need to let those cameras run and let us see it like as it is. I shouldn't have to see it on someone's camera phone on YouTube. I want to see that shit live. I want to see that shit live because that would like blow my mind. Because I didn't see it till after the fact, like the next day.
Oh,
And I
same here.
literally I searched WWE rumors and all I seen was a bunch of videos on Seth Rollins being pissed that CM Punk was back.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of interviews with people who are interviewing with him about it, asking him questions on it. And he pretty much tried to beat around the bush, like he didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah, and I don't like. And that's the thing is, I mean, they've said they've kind of hashed things between Seth Rollins and and CM
CM
Punk.
Punk,
But like I gotta believe there's a slim hope that there is actual genuine discord between the two. Like there's gotta,
you see their reactions when they went face to face in the ring when he signed the contract to be on
oh
Raw.
yeah, uh-huh.
Oh,
You
that
know,
was a good promo out of
yeah.
both of
And
them.
like and the thing is I like the dividing aspect of the GMs now, but like I don't like Nick Aldis. Like
I
he's
don't
like
either.
and like he he's just a wannabe Adam Pearce. I love Adam Pearce. I love the fact that he would just go on shows and just say, "It's official." Because realistically, we all know that contract signings are bullshit. They make matches on the
Boring.
fly. They make matches on the fly, and it's sad that they have to use these signings as a 15-minute, 20-minute filler on any show at the end of the show. And we all know stuff happens at the end of it. 90% of the time, there's always a flip in the table, and someone does this, someone does that. Like
With
it's
somebody
a
going through the table.
yeah, it's an absolute shoe-in. And so like wait, like why even have contract signings? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all because we all know how they go. It's not a surprise to me. It's not like an ooh ah moment, you know. But so as far as the Royal Rumble I mean, Royal Rumble is in two,
I think
like I
it's 2
guess
weeks.
three,
I think
well,
it's
2 weeks from Saturday is on the 27th. Um, we honestly like I do Uber, so I mean, I won't watch it live. I will try to refrain
I
myself
won't.
from, I will definitely restrain myself from watching I'll probably just delete Twitter and Instagram off my phone just for a night. Because I get caught, dude. Like, but I'll probably come home at literally probably like 3, 4 in the morning and literally watch it. And I'll probably skip through some stuff. Um, but I feel like, so I feel like in this podcast, I feel like maybe we might just be doing this, let's say twice a month, right?
It's
Because
fine
I
with
I
me.
feel, I feel like we're gonna have a lot more to cover. And I think, well, let's just say twice a month because I feel like we've covered a lot in this juncture, and so now we have, let's see, 1, 2, so 3 weeks beyond now, which is the night after Royal Rumble. And I feel like that's probably when we're going to touch base and we're going to see where things are because, when the Royal Rumble comes into play, we know full well there's going to be multiple people from the same faction in the match. They do it with New Day all the time. They do it with Street Profits all the time. They do it a lot of these factions all the time. And then they kind of get eliminated at the same time. But yeah, so we will see you in 3 weeks. We'll post like the 28th of January. This is just kind of, a podcast with just the fans aspect, just the fans view.
From our
Um,
point of view on things.
yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be like some of these other places that do these elongated, oh, this person said that, this person said that, and like, have all these clips and all these, quotes and stuff. This is just what we think. This is, take it or leave it. It doesn't matter. It is literally just us just kind of chilling. Two dudes have been friends for 10 plus years. We're huge wrestling fans. We love pontificating what could happen, what should happen, whether it happens or not. That's for you to figure out, I guess, because, you know, if anything we say all of a sudden comes true, we're gonna be like, well, we said it two
Pretty
weeks ago,
much.
you know. So, anybody who gets to watch this is gonna be posted on YouTube, Twitter, my Facebook, a couple other things, and so we will see you in a couple weeks. This is the Lockdown Podcast. Deuces.